All right. I'm going to give this a second here. I just ran across this CDL Life article, and it's precious. So let's me watch the comments just in case. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. So, article from CDL Life. I'm sitting here in Kentucky. I'm waiting on a shop truck to come up because I've got a brake issue on my trailer. Headline: We have arrived at the second wave of COVID-19, and truck drivers are still on the front lines. As the second wave of COVID-19 prompts a series of new shutdowns and guidelines, one thing hasn't changed: truck drivers are still on the front lines. From trouble getting food due to restaurant restrictions to getting sick themselves to civil unrest in desolate cities, truck drivers haven't had it easy in 2020. While some legislation was passed earlier in the year to temporarily relieve truck drivers of some hours of service restrictions, tax burdens, and even overweight and alcohol regulations, truckers were still left to fend for themselves when it came to finding a good meal and even delivering to cities with defunded police. Some truck drivers were able to refuse loads to cities with defunded police departments, but no OTR drivers could avoid the harsh realities of shuttered restaurants and limited restaurants. Okay, so part of that is reasonable. Okay, um, shutting down truck stop restaurants was not ever about safety. It was only ever about profit. Period. They don't care about your safety. They care about shutting down these restaurants that were bleeding cash anyway because they suck. They've always sucked. So, yes, I have been in 23 states now since this operation began back in March. And I have had a few issues finding food. Okay. But I haven't carried food with me. So I really haven't had that big of a problem. And, look at me. I haven't missed many meals. But it has been frustrating sometimes because they come up with these stupid hours, you know, where they used to be 24 hours. Um, they'll open at 10. Okay, well, how am I supposed to get some breakfast between 6 and 10? Um, Now they have this quote from an anonymous CDL Life reader in response to a poll. Quote: Closing restaurants or takeout only. No more refills for travel mugs and cups at truck stops. Staff doing an even worse job of cleaning showers and restrooms because, all caps, they are scared to get sick. No, they're just lazy. It has amazed me. Okay, listen, I you got to understand the perspective that I've had being out here full time, haven't slowed down, haven't changed anything, and been in 23 states, which is more than normal. I mean, normally I would run West Virginia, uh, Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. Normal. In normal circumstances, when I'm doing my normal gig, um, 6 states. Now I've been in 23 since Operation Enduring Cluster started. So I've been out here, and that's what I tried to tell people in the beginning. I put live. I would take my iPad, turn on Facebook Live, and set it on the dash and drive through Dallas and drive through Nashville and say, guys, it's not all shut down. I know that's what they're telling you, but they're lying to you because that's what they do. Was traffic down? Yes. Was it non-existent? No. Were businesses shut down? No, not really. All of my customers in Pennsylvania and New York stayed open in defiance of the governor's orders. So, so here I am now, having been in all these different places. Here's one for you. I went to Connecticut. What is today? Thursday, Wednesday. I delivered in Connecticut Tuesday morning, yesterday morning. Yes, I got there Monday night, went to bed, delivered at a Harbor Freight. So I get there, go to bed. They wake me up at 3:30, 4 o'clock unload. I get backed into the dock. I walk inside. There's 6 people in there, no masks. I'll plug up my phone. No masks whatsoever. And They work on my trailer for about 4 hours. So at 8 o'clock, I go back in there. The store is just open. Still no masks. Okay. I go to the bathroom. I come out. The store is now open. Everybody's got a mask on. That has been my experience. I walk into shipper after shipper after shipper after shipper, receivers, truck stops, everywhere, no mask. Most people, if they have a mask, they have chin diaper, but their nose is not covered, their mouth is not covered. Um, this idea, I get that a lot of people think because of what they're told that, oh, well, everyone is social distancing and wearing masks. No, they're not. And they never have. So anyway, let me get back to this precious article. Showers have been closed at some locations, or the wait time is extended to accommodate a proper cleaning of the facilities. That's garbage. I've been in two truck stops where the showers were closed and it was because of a water problem. I have not had any delay whatsoever in getting a shower. I watched them. They've got this TV screen on the wall that has your shower number or like your ID number, and it'll tell you what shower you have. Which I use the TA Petro app, so I just get a notification on my phone tells me what shower I have. Well, I'll watch them get done cleaning the shower, walk out. As soon as they close the door, the number pops up. So that's nonsense. That's completely made up. Since the first half of the year, many restrictions were temporarily lifted or at least lessened, and civil unrest has seemed to die down. Yeah, because the news stopped covering it. But a predicted second wave has some states reinstating lockdowns and restaurant restrictions, leaving truck drivers in a bind once again. Okay, back to Connecticut. So yesterday morning, I get unloaded in Connecticut at 8 o'clock. It's 167 miles to my next pickup in New Jersey. No, Pennsylvania. I had to drive 150 miles out of route going north from where I was to go over around Pennsylvania because the traffic in Connecticut was an hour and a half delay and the traffic going through New York City was an hour and a half delay. I would have had to sit through 3 hours of traffic. Didn't Andrew Cuomo tell you all that New York was shut down? I mean, that's what he said. Y'all, shut up, slaves, get in your house. Well, Google Maps tells a different story because New York City was bumping Tuesday morning. For an example, as of November 23rd, TA announced the closure of many Travel Centers of America restaurant locations due to state restrictions. TA stated that, quote, both hot and cold food options are available in our home style kitchen deli area. Okay, let me tell you what their home style kitchen deli area. Go to the TA in Hurricane, and they have this glass heater where they microwave like chicken sandwich, like prepackaged chicken sandwiches and cheeseburgers that probably got something in it that'll kill you a whole lot faster than the Rona. And they microwave this junk and they put it in a hot box. And that's their, let me get the quote again, home style kitchen deli area in the center of the travel store at the Fuel Islands are one of our 300 quick serve restaurants across the country. However, a provided list of TA locations shows that many of their restaurants are closed entirely. No, some of their restaurants are closed entirely. Now, most of their restaurants should close entirely because they suck. Click here for an update. In addition to the second wave of restrictions and lockdowns, truckers may be facing a new challenge and a huge responsibility: the shipping of a COVID-19 vaccine. Now, this is interesting. I didn't think about this until I read this. Many details surrounding the new vaccines are unclear because they don't know what they're doing, but the logistics of widespread vaccine distribution are especially murky. Reefer is refrigerated trailers, reefer demand has already been high enough this year to tap out the market, leaving little room for the even higher demand that is sure to come with the distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine. Okay, reefer demand has already been high enough this year to tap out the market. There are reefer trucks that all they existed to do was run from south of Florida up to fill up cruise ships. That's all they did. They would load up food, back up to the cruise ship and unload. That industry is completely wiped out. The hospitality industry completely wiped out. The live entertainment industry completely wiped out. Yet reefer demand has already been high enough this year to tap out the market. What's interesting, don't you think? We are experiencing a market environment almost, I mean, like 2018 was big. 2018 was rocking and rolling. I made, as a company driver on percentage, I made like 90 grand in 8 months in 2018. It was ludicrous. It was insane. And we now have drivers that are consistently like 1800 a week, 1900 a week, 2200 a week every week because there's not enough trucks to haul all the freight. I know some of you have never heard this thing called supply and demand. When supply is up and demand is down, when demand is up and supply is down. The rates right now in the trucking industry are insane, out of this world. But remember, we're locked down and nobody's allowed to go anywhere and shut up, slave. And the reality, if you get out of the damn house, if you'll turn off the television, for God's sakes, turn off the television and go out of your house. Look, you can roll the windows up really tight and turn on the little recirculator on your car so none of the outside germs can get in. Just go drive 200 miles in one direction, turn around, come back. Take you about 5 hours. Go look at something because what you're being told and what's in reality is nonsense. Okay, the since late October, the U.S. Department of Defense has announced it will be playing a logistics-only role in the distribution of the vaccine and claimed they will be, quote, working in conjunction with the CDC to guide every logistical detail you could possibly think of. But the fact of the matter is that the exact plan for distribution is still unknown. Yeah, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. The role truck drivers may play in the distribution and implementation of the vaccine may still be ambiguous, but one thing will always remain certain: truckers will be out on the road risking their lives to keep the rest of us clothed and fed. Thank you, drivers. Look, I realized a long time ago that how integral and important this industry is. I mean, the truth in there is that everything you wear, everything you have, everything you eat, everything you have was brought on a truck. Everything. Um, so are truck drivers important? Sure. Does the axis of the universe run through the top of our heads? Absolutely not, because most truck drivers could be replaced with a really intelligent monkey. Okay. Um, it's not a job all that difficult. It's strenuous and stressful, and and it takes a skill set to be successful at it. But y'all, the supply chain that we built from the late 90s up to now is just, it's a miracle. It's a literal miracle what the market in spontaneous order. There was no Federal Department of Supply Chain. It, with spontaneous action and complete order, we built this amazingly efficient, incredible supply chain where we had it down to a science, and y'all screwed it up in less than 2 weeks. And remain and continue to screw it up. Why? Because you watch too much TV and then you get, oh, have mercy, that sun's bright. Whew. You watch too much television and then you freak out and then you go clean out the supply chain. Well, I mean, we have limits of capacity. Gosh almighty. Boy, that sun is something else. I'm gonna try. There we go. That's a little better. Look. We've got to turn off the news. We have to. Talk to your neighbor. See, your neighbor is not your enemy. Never has been. There's no reason for us to be behaving the way we are right now. No reason whatsoever. It's absolutely uncalled for and it's unnecessary. There are specific groups of people that should be very cautious right now because of the environment. Always has been. All right. That's an individual personal responsibility that everyone should take on. But we are doing this to ourselves. And then we come up with this virtue signaling nonsense, um, trying to make people into heroes that aren't heroes. They're just doing their jobs. If you would just leave us the hell alone and let us do our jobs, everything would be fine. But Lord have mercy. Um, Stop buying too much toilet paper. Get what you need and go home. We will have enough there for you next week. Okay. I'm going to turn this off because I can't see anymore. I've said my